All right, hey everybody, here it is, the long-awaited SH Figuarts Superman review. So, as mentioned, I believe in the Mattel, this Batman, he is custom painted. It was just simple stuff. I dry brushed a lighter blue all over the figure, and then on certain parts of the figure, he does have some shading, so I did dry brush that. I dry brushed a darker red all around the S emblem just to make it that much more accurate to the suit in the movie, because he does have the shading around the S, and then he's got shading on his suit, which is pretty neat. But that's the figure, and this is the box art. So you can see Superman from Superman, the Tamashii Nations logo, Bandai logo, a bunch of legalese designed in Japan, Superman himself, another Superman logo, the window, which you can see the figure. Of course, the figure's already out. The official seal for Tamashii Nations, another Bandai logo up top. We've got SH Figuarts, Superman, Superman, Superman. Around this side, again, SHF, DC, Superman, Superman. A shot of the figure, and you can really see what I did. Like even with the main blues, it's a lighter blue. Here we have some product shots. We have different poses and stuff that you can make the figure do. I did lose one of his relaxed hands, unfortunately. Still trying to find it, but it doesn't really matter because I keep the fists on anyway. A bunch of legal info. I got this from GameStop for 89 bucks. Barcode if you want it. At the bottom, again, another product shot, warning, cautions, all that stuff. And then on this side, another shot of the figure, more Superman, SHF, and then I think, yeah, that's the packaging. It does also come with the trusty instruction sheet. Always, always, always read your instructions before playing with your expensive figures. You don't want to break anything because that's an expensive break. And then more legal info on the back. If you want to scan this QR code, please pause it now. If not, forever hold your peace. Here's the accessories. Like I said, I did lose one of the more relaxed hands. But installed already on the figure are two fists, and then he's got two grabbing hands. If you wanna make him grab something, and then two relaxed hands. But like I said, I did lose one, and then an alternate kind of angrier head compared to the more smiling head. These heads, man. I'm sure if you've seen other SHF Superman reviews, you'll know the complaints, but these heads do not look like David Corn Sweat at all. They look like crap, which sucks because usually SHF and Bandai themselves are really great about doing heads, but these ones just turned out horrendously. There is some resemblance to David if like you squint and look far away, but the eyes are too far apart, the eyebrows are too thin, his chin's too long. I have seen some kits on Instagram that I've been thinking about purchasing. Well, geez, just dropped his head. I feel like I'm always dropping something in every single review, but yeah. I did see some kits on Instagram that the heads look so much better, and they did come painted in a better flesh tone. I don't know how well you can tell, but his flesh tone is so much worse on or in person than it is on camera. It's very yellowed, like he's got oh, what's that liver disease? I'm blanking on it, but yeah, it looks like he's got some sort of disease wrong with his liver. Anyway, enough complaining. Here's what you guys came for. The figure himself is honestly really great, other than the minor gripe about the head and the flesh tone. I am really happy. I have this figure. It's probably the favorite, it's probably my favorite figure in my collection. Not just out of figures I bought this year, which I will be doing at some point a top 10, like how I did last year, which I don't know if it's still up. I might have deleted it. I don't remember. I don't think I did. But if I did, I apologize. But yeah, he will be in my top 10 figures of the year. When I do one, I'll probably do one soon. And then maybe an updated list if I get any more figs. But yeah, that's a little spoiler for that video. Anyway, on to the figure himself. He looks great. Even without the paint job, he looked great. There is so much detailing and texturing that is so accurate to the movie, minus the joint, the breakage in the sculpt for the joints. He's got the yellow S on his cape. The hair texturing looks great. Again, the face sculpt. This face sculpt does look significantly better than the angry one, but still, it does look a little rough. But poseability, he's great. He's perfect when it comes to poseability. Everything I could have asked for in a Superman figure. It does look like he has some minor ab sculpting, which is kind of accurate to the movie. He did have some, I don't want to say padding, but you could definitely make out some ab detail on the suit. But yeah, he looks great. Fully wired cape, and it has a nice feel. It almost feels like, I don't want to say a microfiber cloth, but it does. It feels, if you have Mayfex figures, it feels similar to the capes they use. I don't really know how to describe it, but it feels like it's a great cape. It's a really great cape. It's a nice weight. It's not heavy. It's not thick. But it's not light and thin either, like a Mezco style cape. Anyway, enough rambling about the beauty of this figure. I still can't get over how beautiful, especially after the paint job, how beautiful this figure is. I did even go through, I don't know how well you can tell it on the darker section, but on the lighter section, you can tell that I did go through, paint the line work. It is a nice reflective metallic color. Granted, this entire figure is reflective, but you can probably see, maybe, hopefully, you can kind of see how it's a little more reflective compared to the rest of the figure. And I painted all of the lines on it. Anyway, yeah, so poseability, his head can look up that far, perfect for flight poses. Down that far, full side to side. He's got a dumbbell in the neck and then a ball joint at the bottom of the neck. Be great if he would pop back on. Hang on a sec. We'll got the figure back on. Beautiful head pivot or head tilt. He can tilt all the way around, and the ball joint obviously allows for movement at the bottom of the neck too. He's got an amazing ab crunch, amazing arc back, and then again, because of the ball joints, a beautiful tilt in the waist, in both lower and upper. Again, beautiful range on that ab crunch and the upper, or on the crunch in general. And then his arms go all the way out, full T pose. Let me straighten him up a little bit. There we go. And then he does have drop down shoulders, full 360 range. He's got a bicep cut, of course, double jointed elbows that bend up that far. He's got the typical SHF wrist peg where you can move the bottom of the wrist and then change the orientation of which way his wrist bends. If you have any McFarlane figures, it's the same kind of articulation setup over there. His legs kick out that far, kick back, not too far, but not too bad. And then a full split. He does have some thigh swivel, double jointed knees that he doesn't kick his own butt, but it's there. No drop down hip, unfortunately. And then of course, foot rotation and foot rocker. If I can get the foot straightened out, there we go. And of course, toe articulation and a full hinge on his foot. So I did, of course, change the angle. I am gonna raise the camera up a little bit, there we go. So yeah, I did change the angle so I can showcase the wired cape. It is fully wired. Even the bottom of the cape is wired. So you can get the cape in all sorts of fancy schmancy poses, which is super nice. It looks, once you actually pose it, it does look natural. Like once you actually attempt to pose it, not what I did. It does look super natural. Yeah, I'm super happy with this figure, and I'll dive more into my final thoughts after size comparisons. Quick, before we get into size comparisons, I did forget to mention he does have a forward-facing butterfly joint. You guys, but size comparisons are probably some of my favorite parts of action figure reviews because I can actually see what brands the figure looks good with and what brands the figure doesn't look good with. With that being said, here he is next to the two Mattel Batman figures. Obviously, these ones are a lot more stylized, so they are bigger and bulkier, and they are slightly taller, but they do fit in pretty well, if I do say so myself. If you want to use one of these figures to make a custom DCU styling of a figure, you totally can. If not, that's fine too. But he does look great with these guys. Here he is next to the Spin Master Metallo. He is extremely small. Wow. Metamorpho. I am so sorry. I promise I'm not a fake fan. Superman is my favorite character. But yeah, here he is next to... Excuse me. It is super late. I just got done filming the Mattel Batman stealth suit review, and I wanted to do this video before I went to bed, so I didn't forget. But yeah, here he is next to the Spin Master Metamorpho figure. Metamorpho is significantly shorter, but doesn't look too bad. I feel like if you figured out the angles, and if you wanted to do photography, I should say, if you figured out the angles and played with different perspectives, they wouldn't look too bad together. He is next to a McFarlane DC Superpowers Superman movie wave, Mr. Terrific, as well as the T-Craft, which might do a review on just because, you know, they are small. Probably won't. It might just be a YouTube short style thing that I do. But yeah, so that's how he looks next to these two. Again, if you played around with angles, played around with different perspectives, maybe had like the T-Sphere or the T-Craft up in the back, kind of floating on like a wire or something, or a stand, they would look great together. I did have to bring the camera back quite a bit and raise it up for the size comparison. This is him next to the Spin Master Kaiju figure that also came with a power punching Superman, the chest bursting action and everything. I do want to do a wash on this guy, dirty him up, make him look more realistic and not cartoony. The mouth does open as well. You have to punch. Yeah, so that opens up his mouth and everything. And then probably take some green stuff or epoxy sculpt or something, cover up the cracks. Still not done with size comparisons. Here he is next to just the basic line. Actually, his packaging is right behind us, of the Spin Master Superman. This was the actually first Superman figure or Superman movie figure that I bought. Again, he does tower over over Spin Master Superman, but again, this is meant for young kids. And then for a final comparison, I can do so many comparisons, but I'm not going to, because this video is already kind of going on for long enough. Here he is next to the Mafex or Mafex, if you're nasty, or depending on whichever one you prefer, the Mafex Cyborg Superman, which I could also probably will honestly do a review on. I've had this figure for years now. I want to say for about 3 years. But it's still a great figure, and I, honestly, they look great together. If you really wanted to, you could have them posed up fighting each other. What I want to do is I want to get another another SHF Superman, excuse me, and then try and find a knockoff of the Mafex Superman, or of the Mafex Cyborg Superman, and combine the two. Try and make a DCU style Cyborg Superman, because I think that would be dope as hell to do. And it wouldn't be too difficult either. The arm peg on him does fit in there. I've already tried it because I wanted to see how that would look, and that's what gave me the idea for the custom DCU style Cyborg Superman. I know I said the Mafex Superman or Cyborg Superman was my last comparison, but I couldn't in the video without doing a comparison next to the McFarlane Toys Crypto that came with the theatrical release of Superman, but I think he also came with one of the versions of Supergirl. Don't have her, would like to get her because she would look great on my Superman shelf. But these two look astonishing together, honestly. Despite the fact that this is basically just a little statuette of Crypto. I would like to add some articulation to him, because I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I think they look great together. Overall, wrapping up this video, I'm pretty happy with this figure. I'm glad I found it because it had been a Grail figure for a while. I think he looks great, other than the things I've already mentioned, and I'm not going to mention again because I've already mentioned them so many times in this video. I think he looks great. Even before the paint job, I thought he looked great. He fits in with other figures so well, and even the ones he doesn't fully fit in with, I think you could still pull off photography if you play around with angles and different fields of view, all of that stuff. I am very happy with the figure. I think it is a beautiful figure. It is a beautiful articulated figure. And he looks absolutely amazing on the Superman shelf, which is exactly what it sounds. It's just a shelf of a bunch of different Superman figures. There's a Superman piggy bank on there, but he looks great. And even with my other Superman figures, which is not just Metallo and Mr. Terrific and the Kaiju, I have a custom, which I showcased, a custom Hammer Barivia and a custom painted Ultraman. But yeah, I think he looks great. I'm very pleased with the figure. I'm glad I was able to get my hands on it because it's the only one GameStop had. And I was really, for the longest time, tossing up the idea of, do I get the figure? Do I not get the figure? Am I going to regret it? I've seen so many people complaining about the face. And yeah, the face looks horrendous. But I don't know. I mean, it's definitely stylized. But I think overall, the figure is fantastic. Dare I say super. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you so choose. You do not have to, but if you so choose, I would very much appreciate it. Like I said, I'm doing an $1,000, or not $1,000. Wow. I'm doing a 1,000 subscribers giveaway a custom figure of your choosing. So if you want to be entered into that, make sure you are subscribed. The first 1,000 subscribers will all be entered into it. So again, if you want to be entered into that, please let me know, or please subscribe, and I will, once I hit 1,000 subs, I will go through my following and randomly pick, not my following, wow, randomly pick a subscriber. And I'll shoot you a message, be like, yo, what custom figure do you want me to do? The only rules to that are I will not be doing customs of imports, so it will be Marvel Legends style or Mattel style or DC Multiverse style. So you get to pick from those three companies, or even Jada Toys, because I do occasionally dabble in some Jada stuff. But yeah, any affordable 6 to 7 inch figure company, I will go out, purchase any sculpting materials I need, and then go through a sculpt, paint, whatever I have to do for your figure. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.